Keshav Bhajanka joins us, Executive Director with Century Plyboards. Keshav, good morning. Thank you for joining us. My communication team, when we were coordinating for this interview, was telling me that Keshav has been running very busy, that this time festival season demand is so strong that he will struggle to give you more than 10 minutes for an interview. Is it true?
Good morning. No, that is not true at all. But
No, so
yes,
what
the
is not
season
true?
is
That
looking good.
festival season demand is not strong, or you will give us more than 10 minutes?
I think the festival season demand has been good, but I have all the time for you.
Wonderful. So look forward to a longish interview. How is the festival season demand this year different from last year? And if you take that optionality value of the COVID bump up, is it a normal good year despite that optionality value out?
I think you've hit, you hit it on the head. The last year we got a lot of benefit in Q2 because of the slump due to COVID in Q1. So the base has been very high. But I think that sequentially, if you look at it, this has been a very good quarter. And we are seeing good traction, particularly in September. July and August were perhaps not as good as we had hoped for. There was some impact from inflation that took place. But seeing the revival in September, I am very hopeful that going forward, the major hit of inflation is behind us. And now we should have a very strong H2 going forward as well.
Keshav, the $25 million capex plan, this is an indication that the promoter group is confident of where the future trajectory of the business is moving. Is this going to be a pure capex plan which will be funded by debt and internal accruals, or somewhere there would be an equity issuance also?
So I think you said $25 million, but the capex is actually going to be far higher. As you're aware, we're investing in excess of 800 crores in the Andhra plant, which in itself will be close to $100 million. The majority of the funding will be through internal accruals. We might have to take sporadic debt on the book, but that will be very short term because our cash flow generation has been very strong. No, we will not be issuing any equity. The company is very comfortable based on its current cash flow.
Right, for the benefit of our shareholders, because you've always been debt free, so you're committed to remain debt free despite the capex.
There might be a minor debt that we have to take on board for a quarter or two, but on any meaningful basis, we will be debt free.
Fair enough. Now, let's also talk about your margins, because I understand that the sustainable margins in the MDF segment for the industry, you did put in a record 35% last quarter. What do you think it's sustainable at the current levels for industry and Century Ply?
I do not. I think that we have always given guidance that 25% should be a sustainable margin for MDF. Last quarter was an exceptional quarter, and we benefited as a result of quite a few factors. This quarter, as you're aware, raw material price inflation, particularly in MDF, is going to hit not just us, but all players. So I think in MDF, we should take long-term guidance as 25% plus. Of course, the short term, there will be some quarters where we will do better. And perhaps in the medium term, there could be some quarters where we'll do worse also.
Okay, fair enough. You don't see it sustainable at the 35% mark. What about in terms of the MDF imports? Do you expect it to resume in the near term, as we have seen freight rates as well cooling off from the peak levels?
I think that at the end of it, we will have to compete. We belong to a much more open world economy now. But having said that, internationally, the price of MDF itself has gone up substantially by over 20%. So even though the freights have come down, the end price landed to the customer is quite high. As you know, the dollar today, I think, is trading at 81 plus. So that itself, the appreciation of the dollar is also leading to imports becoming more expensive. So I don't see much of a challenge in the north from imports at this point in time. Definitely when our south plant comes up, we will have to compete with imports, and we'll have to play it by the ear and see how the import rates progress.
And any price hikes that were undertaken this quarter? And if yes, how much? And are raw material prices cooling off now, particularly for timber?
So raw material prices for timber have actually gone up over the course of the past few months. And no, we have not taken any price hikes in the quarter. I think that, at this point in time, we don't have any plans to take price hikes in the immediate future. What we have been able to do is we've been able to upsell. I think the contribution of our premium products in MDF has gone up substantially, and we are going to be looking to build on the same going forward as well.
Okay. All right. Just give us a sense as to how you're looking at demand trends as well for wood panel. What's the outlook in terms of the festive season?
I think, the past couple of months have been a little tough. The main reason being inflation. The price of most building material products was quite high, but they have started to cool off a little bit. Particularly things like chemicals and other raw materials have reduced substantially. I think that considering that July and August were a little difficult, we are perhaps a little bit off what we would have expected for Q2. But September has been very, very positive. The trend is looking good, and I think that going forward, the second half of the year should be better.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us a view, Keshav, on how business is shaping up. Let's revisit